You ever feel like you're just kind of walking through life in a fog? Where things aren't quite clear? Well, today we're diving into this amazing ancient concept called panya. And it's not about knowing more stuff, it's really about learning to see differently. Think of it like a lens that can bring your entire world into this sharp, brilliant focus. So, what does it actually mean to be wise? We usually picture someone with gray hair, maybe a library full of books. But what if wisdom isn't something you just collect over time? What if it's a skill you can actually cultivate, a way of seeing that just cuts right through all the confusion? Well, that's the promise of Panya, and we're going to explore how to unlock it. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll cover what Panya actually is. Then, we'll look at what it needs to grow, the incredible power it unleashes, how you can actually cultivate it, and finally, what the ultimate goal of all this is. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's get right to it. What exactly is Panya? It often gets translated as just wisdom, but honestly, that word doesn't even begin to cover it. Panya is really an active, transformative force. It's this faculty of mind that can fundamentally change your whole experience of the world. This is the absolute core of it. Panya is the ability to see things yatha bhutam, as they truly are, not through the filters of our hopes or our fears or our personal biases. Imagine you've been looking at your life through this smudged, distorted lens, and Panya is the act of cleaning that lens until it's just crystal clear. That's the kind of seeing we're talking about here. Let's put it this way, the dupañano, or the unwise person, is kind of lost in a thick fog, totally unable to see the path ahead. But in contrast, the pañava, the wise person, is standing on a mountaintop with this clear, panoramic view of the whole landscape. Panya is the journey that takes you from that fog-bound valley all the way up to that sunlit peak. So how do we get to that mountaintop, right? It's not like you can just wish for it. The ancient texts tell us that Panya is like a beautiful flower, and it can only grow in the right conditions in this carefully cultivated, fertile soil. And that soil is prepared through a couple of key practices. So first up is sila. This is all about living with integrity and kindness, making choices that don't harm yourself or others. This creates a natural sense of inner peace. And that peace is the foundation for the next step, samadhi, a state of deep, unshakable concentration. It's only from this place of profound stillness and clarity that panya can really pop up, which then leads to vimutti, a deep and lasting freedom. So what's the big deal about panya? Why is it even worth cultivating? Well, this isn't just about feeling calm and peaceful. Panya is an absolute superpower. It helps you navigate all the challenges of life with grace and resilience. It's like having this inner compass that always points you toward true north. Now, to really appreciate the light of Panya, we've got to understand the darkness it gets rid of. And that darkness is called avidya. It's this sort of fundamental blindness to the way things really are. And it's the source of our deepest anxieties, our fears, our sorrows. Panya is literally the key to breaking free from its grip. And this is where it gets really cool. Panya isn't just a passive observer, it's a warrior. It's a balam, which literally means power or strength. It's the active force that stands up to that fog of avidya and just cuts right through it. It's the light that can pierce through the darkest night. And this isn't some abstract idea. The text gets super specific about the real-world benefits. They say this power helps us overcome our deepest fears. The fear of not having enough, the fear of what other people think of us, social anxiety, even the fear of death itself. I mean, just imagine what your life would be like if you could face these core fears with courage and grace. Panya also has the power to free us from our own mental prisons. And we all have them, right? The rigid beliefs, the limiting stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we can do. The texts call these dityo, and they keep us stuck. But with Samma Panya, or right wisdom, we can see these beliefs for what they are, just thoughts, and gently let them go. And just like there are many different kinds of light, there are many shades of wisdom. The texts describe Panya as joyful, swift, deep, and penetrating. This tells us that wisdom isn't some one-size-fits-all thing. No, it's this rich and varied landscape with so many different paths to explore. So how do we actually get there? How do we cultivate this incredible quality in our own lives? Well, the good news is that the ancient texts provide a really clear and practical roadmap. It's a journey anyone can take, and it all starts with just a single step. So this path has 3 main stages.
First, there's Suttamaya Panya, which is the wisdom we get from learning, from books, from teachers. Think of this as getting the map. Then comes Chintamaya Panya, the wisdom from our own reflection. This is like studying the map. But the most important stage is Bhavanamaya Panya, the wisdom that comes from direct, personal experience, and that's the difference between just reading a map and actually walking the path.
And the great thing is, you don't have to figure all this out on your own. The texts encourage us to seek out mentors and guides, people who've walked the path before us. And they tell us to ask the big questions, the ones that really matter. What's the secret to a happy life? How can I find true fulfillment? The answers, they might just surprise you.
All right, so we've explored what Panya is, how it works, and how to cultivate it. But what's the ultimate destination of this whole journey? What's the pot of gold at the end of this rainbow? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple, and it's something we all long for.
The ultimate goal is Panya Vimutti, which means liberation through wisdom. It's this profound understanding that true freedom doesn't come from changing our external circumstances. It comes from transforming our inner world. Panya is the very key that unlocks the prison of our own minds. And what does that freedom look like? Well, it's the uprooting of the asavas, the toxic mental habits and deep-seated patterns that keep us stuck in these cycles of suffering. This isn't just about managing our pain. It's the end of the inner war with ourselves. It's the beginning of a life of genuine peace and well-being. There's this beautiful, simple line from the ancient text that just says it all. Nati Panya Sama Abha. It means there is no light like wisdom. In a world that can often feel dark and confusing, Panya is the beacon that can guide us home. So what does all this mean for you? Well, it means that you have the power to change your life from the inside out. You have the capacity to cultivate Panya, to see the world with new eyes, and to find the freedom and happiness you've been searching for. So I'll just leave you with this question to ponder. Where in your life could a clearer insight change absolutely everything?